Hey everybody, I just wanted to put a little warning on this video. I get a little bit of sad in the beginning. Uh, After this clip ends, if you would not rather see me cry, scrub 18 minutes in. And if that's something you want to see, go for it. And also, if any of one of my family members is watching this, I am uncomfortable, and you watching this makes me sad and all of the bad emotions. Don't watch if you're my family. And if you do, you took the ticket and you went in. Just putting it out there. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this one. I find it really relatable because I just let my emotions fly. I let me be me. And maybe me being me is something that, well, respond well with you. So, please, somewhat, if you can, enjoy or sympathize or empathize. One of those words is right. I will see you later. Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back here to the Tolerance Break podcast. Routine look at my face to make sure everything's recording. Yep, we're going good, gang. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back, welcome back. And today we are talking about my favorite and least favorite holiday, which is Christmas. Now, I want to start this off by saying, I don't mean to like intrude on anyone's holiday. If you like this holiday, I'm happy for you. I like a lot of holidays, and this one is my favorite. But the older I get, the worse it gets. And I have a feeling a lot of adult people can relate to that sentiment because, well, I guess let's just get into it. I mean, man, all of it is so stressful. Like, if we're talking just about basics, it's about traveling, going from point place A to point place B. Not too annoying, but definitely can put a pause in the middle of the day. And then, but like I was saying, that one not too bad. But then it's taught. Then it's just like the whole social aspect of it for me. It can be draining. So there's that, and then there's just also the whole time around this year, which feels so goddamn stressful. Like, and this is the time of the year when everything seems to me like it's supposed to be transactional. And I know that that's not the case for most people. Like, I really do understand that. But it's my own self imposed stupid brain where I'm like, yo, don't get me a gift this year because it makes me feel bad when people get me gifts when I'm in a position of not being able to. Like, for example, this year, I was only able to muster up enough money for my little sisters to get presents. And I wish I could have done more. Um, but with how my money is working, how my car payments are working, how everything's working, I can't. It's literally feels everything feels so impossible right now. And the like one positive thing to always remember is what was the last thing you struggled through? And did you get through it? Are you here? Are you watching this podcast? Am I talking to you? And the answer to all those questions is yes. And I am self-aware of that fact. Um, but still, like, for example, one thing that eats my brain alive is like when I go to family events and stuff, and I have like a present or something, let's say, and like I was just talking to my dad before we did Christmas, like a couple days ago, because we do Christmas at my house a little bit early because we got the whole divorced family thing going on. My little sister got me this Minecraft torch. It's pretty epic. Oh, I just hit my face. But so like, and this is let me like precursor this by saying this is me, 100% me, not my dad, not my stepmom, not anyone. But I was over there and I was like, hey, I like kind of like let them know my situation because they're my parents. I figure to some degree should be able to tell them. And they hit me with the, oh, we totally understand. We know you're going through a hard time and this and that. And what happens is, like I was saying, this is not a thing for my parents. This is not something they're making me feel. This is something I'm making me feel. And I wish I didn't, but it can't help my own brain sometimes from acting the way it does. But he went out and said that. He was like, oh, we understand. But then my brain imagines the other universe where I actually didn't get that gift. And I don't know if, I don't know. Sorry, I have like OCD sometimes. Like I just need to look at something real quick. But I don't know if that conversation would have went the same way. Like I was saying, this is all in my head. This is all in my head. Um, and I'm just kind of like there. I'm like, he says that, but I don't know if that's true. Like I was saying, that's my own thought there. And a lot of people say that kind of stuff, but I can't help but feel like there is like I still should be doing something, and I try my best to my best. Like literally, I have $20 in my bank account right now, and but I mean that's after buying food and gas and everything, doing card payments, and I have 11 more paydays until winter or this whole Christmas season has ended. But then for me, God, the party keeps going. Then it's my dad's birthday. Then it's my older sister's birthday, both in January. And then on February 2nd is my little sister Laura's birthday. So I get all the holidays plus 3 extra. And oh, this is the point of the year where I'm like, wow, like if I'm not in a good spot with money, I'm more or less just kind of freaking out. And I make it work every time. There's never been a time when it hasn't worked. But you know how anxiety works. Everybody watching this knows how anxiety works. Um and it sucks. I wish I could, just not think about it. Oh, sorry if my camera is a little bit goofy. There's been something wrong with my Logi Tech stuff, and every time I'm doing anything, I have to reopen it and make sure the settings turn back on. I have no clue why this does this, but it does. Please, please just work. We're keeping all of this in. All right. This is just the start of my life of this podcast. Oh, and we don't get any saturation, so that's great. That's great. Can I turn that even up? Maybe, maybe. It says no, get fucked. I think that's what it's saying. Oh, wow. Wow. Maybe it didn't say that much. Okay. 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 Mm, I think that's as yep, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm leaving it. But yeah, man. This part of the year just makes me feel immensely bad, and like I was saying, it's not my family members, it's my own stupid brain. Cause a lot of people in my family, they are pretty compassionate people. They understand these things, but I feel like I have been conditioned in by the world to not take anything at face value anymore. I am working on this every single day. Do I not have any photos per second here? We're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna do one more thing with this, but I feel like there we go. This responsibility, and it's all put on myself by myself because, like I was saying, I have compassionate people around me, but if I'm not able to do it, I would just rather sometimes not go because I feel like I'm not adding to the event. And then you get then and the reason why I don't talk to my family members and stuff about this kind of thing a lot of the time, friends, is because I feel like I'm trying to set myself up for a little sob story. Oh, little old me. I can't pay for gifts. Aw. Well, you can still come to the event. It's like, oh, now I feel like I'm also leeching. Because now I'm eating all this food and stuff. I wasn't even able to bring my own food. See, dude, like, it's kind of getting me emotional right now. And, God, like I was saying, I wish I could go through this part of the year without, like, thinking this way. It's just how I think. And, like, you could put the most convincing person in front of me. Selena Gomez, where you at? No, I'm kidding. But you could put the most convincing person in front of me, and I don't know if that could change my mind in this situation. Because, like, for example, I think this year is just, like, for me, it feels like it's building always up to anxiety attacks, like, once every couple of days or something. And, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel bad. This part of the year makes me feel bad. And then, like I was saying earlier, like, not like when I bring this up to my friends and family, and then it's like, well, you can still come to the event, you can bring yourself, and I'm like, I don't know why I attach my self-worth to being able to provide things, but like, my self-worth daily honestly comes a lot from my dog Jack. I'm able to give him food, I'm able to give him water, I'm able to do all these things for him, and it doesn't make me feel bad. It makes me feel good. And if I wasn't able to provide those things, I shouldn't have a dog. If I'm not able to provide gifts, if I'm not able to provide some sort of value, whether it's gifts or food, why would I go? And then that comes back to what feels like to me is lying, but I know isn't, but it's what my brain preaches to me. Is that like when my family members are nice, and then they're like, hey, just bring yourself. It'll be fine. I'm just like, I don't have anything to bring. They're like, no, you. And I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. Everyone else is contributing something. And they're like, oh, it's you that's contributing. That yourself. I'm like, no. I feel horrible. And it's just like, at that point, it's just like, I feel like regardless of me showing up, sometimes I just can't get rid of that anxiety feeling the whole time. Because I'm just the bum that shows up to all the family events. I didn't expect to get this real on tolerance break so fast, but God, I've been thinking about this all day. It's really good to think about. You can't ignore reality. It is what it is. And that's why I still go to these family events. I go to these friendly family events. I wish I didn't have to, because like I was saying, I'm just a fucking bum that shows up and is like, hey, I'll eat some of your food, I guess. I don't ever swear at family events, by the way, just putting that out there. I'm a respectful family member. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm hoping literally maybe just one person in the world can relate to this, because I have no one to talk to about it that is just unbiased. I mean, I could go to therapy. I don't have money for that. and I don't want my parents to pay. I guess maybe if we have insurance, but also, when would I find the time of day? Like, I don't have time for that, number one. I don't have money for that, number one. And then, like, to top it off, I'm, like, forcing myself to stay away from all of my vices, like, daily. So, I've just been stuck consistently in my own head. But that's a good thing. You need to learn how to live with yourself. And I do. And I do these breaks. And, it just sucks. Because, like, God, like I was saying, so many of my family members feel like, oh no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. But there's just like the evil voice in the back of my head that's like, no, this is not fine. They're telling that to you to make you feel better. You're actually not fine. The more I say it, the more crazy it sounds. But also at the same time, not. I, of course, wouldn't be mad at anyone that was like that. But I don't know if that matters. I don't know if what I feel matters. Because, like, I don't know if this is like a growing up being bullied thing, but like, that's kind of why I started streaming. That's why I make videos. These people that I reach out to on the internet, they're like me. They understand me. They get these feelings. And I guess it's like, yeah, it can not matter, but it still matters to me. It still matters to me. And when I have like that anxiety like this, like, I'm sure I'm gonna be feeling this on actual Christmas, but I can't get it out of my head that everyone's looking at me like the weird guy. God, I could not be the weird guy for 8 minutes. Even 30 seconds. I just want to be normal sometimes. Everybody expects something else. Everyone expects something else. I wish I could understand what that was. Because when I came home earlier, I was planning on making this the angriest podcast. But I realized this is just not feelings of anger. It's feelings of resentment toward myself. God. Every sound from that sniffle is staying in. But, yeah. I'm gonna actually pause. We got 17 minutes in. This has been a lot of crying. I'm gonna put a thing at the start. Kind of like a disclaimer. Oh, look. Perfect time to pause. The camera effects just went away. So, I'm going to return with dry eyes. And hopefully I'll look prettier. Alright, guys. I've calmed myself down a little bit. I'll calm myself down, but hey. Oh my god, I almost stopped recording the podcast. I was about to be very angry. But hey, isn't that funny? Haha. And now that's making that sound. Brother, what is good in...
You like jazz?
You like jazz? What the hell? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What would be wrong with this?
I don't know what would be wrong with this, but I guess we're not using the soundboard this episode. But, man, I think I needed to cry that out a little bit, like I was saying. that is something that I've never been able to express fully to anyone. So saying that out loud just feels weird because I know also that there's a chance that my family members will see that. I hope, hey, family members, if you're watching, fuck, please stop ever watching this podcast. I never want you to watch it. Listen, mom, dad, stepdad, stepmom, sisters, maybe the little ones. None of you I want to watch this podcast in my family. I do not want you here. I respect you and I love you with all of my heart, but this is a vulnerable place for me, and you can join the ride, but just know that if you try talking to me about this stuff in real life after I have talked about it on here, it will make me beyond uncomfortable. Sorry if that was weird to put in the podcast, but this has been a sensitive episode for myself. So, um but like I was saying, I have been thinking about it all day, and like I don't know if anybody else has been feeling this, but man, no, what I'm about to say I don't think is a universal thing. I mean, it might be for some, but I've been so angry recently, and like I've been trying to control that more. Um, like this has been going on now for like the past couple of months, and feeling angry feels bad. I think that's one thing from an outside perspective a lot of people don't understand. Uh I'm I feel bad when I feel angry. Like, and I don't want to feel angry. Like, for example, one thing I indulged myself in, that I like a behavior that I shouldn't have in the past couple of weeks, that I think exponentially made my anger worse, was uh, this new term on the internet. It's called crashing out. It's basically, essentially, let's say you're at work and you are, and obviously you try to crash out in private. I know some people are bold enough to go out there into the real world and just send it, but not for me. If I crashed out, I have in the past in private. And crashing out is essentially letting your baby rage take over from when you were a child, meaning things that you have, like your trauma and all of that, and like you essentially like let all of that go through for a second. You let everything that's making you angry through for a second, and you freak out. You throw your water bottle. You'll run down a hallway, smack, crashing, like hitting something on a wall. I don't know, but I indulged myself like 4 times or something like that into this baby rage behavior, and I figured out, like most studies in science would say, it's not good to get more angry in a situation where you've started being angry. And literally, like, I think each of those crash outs, all of that happened weekly. Like, it was one week, another week, another week, another week. And I realized at the start of this month um, that I need to stop that. And I've been practicing typing a lot recently. And one thing I've learned about myself and these anger issues is that I will let myself freak out at the drop of a hat. Like, if I'm typing and I'm on the 15th word and I miss one letter, I start shaking a little bit. I'm like, and I have to literally tell myself, it's okay. Like, I had to tell myself, it's okay, man. Everybody makes mistakes. And I have to talk to myself as if I'm a child, as if I'm a baby, because I'm experiencing baby rage. And I need that more mature part of myself to essentially coddle me. Because if I don't coddle myself like that, I crash out, I quit, I stop, and I wish my brain didn't work that way, but it just does. Like I was saying, I think what contributed the worst amount to this that led me into looking up breathing exercises and anger management help was honestly the crash outs, because those days when I did that, like I was saying, it felt like it dragged me down to a darker place, a darker place, a darker place. I felt like I was letting everything bad in my life at the end of those things control me. And I think that's not a far stretch to define a crash out as that. A crash out is you experiencing baby rage and letting your pain take over. And that's not a good way to live life. You know, fuck. You know, I was saying, I wish I could just bottle these emotions up, be your classic toxic male masculinity, but I can't, you know? I'm one of the fruity ones, you might say. Hey, yo, um, as far as my, emotions go, I don't know if that's because half of my life I was only raised by ladies, but they some of the effect of the emotions must have come off of them. Something must have. um, but yeah, it's been a hard month. It's been a hard last couple of months. Just with getting kicked out of my old house. I'm in a new house now. I more than anything try to make myself invisible because I don't want to make the people I'm living with feel like I'm putting any more onto them than I need to. Like, for example, on the weekends on Sunday, they like to offer me food and stuff occasionally, but I will like last weekend I couldn't get around it. But I'll try to normally go out and get some food on Sundays, and I'll hide it in my backpack or in a grocery bag of some sort, like a Goodwill bag, because it's like, oh, that why would that be food? Um, and then I go downstairs and I eat in silence because I don't want number one people to think I'm fat because I'm eating what I want to eat, and number two, man, I think I have an eating disorder. But like the opposite, because I'm successful in getting my shitty food. I don't know. I mean, recently I haven't been every day, which is weird. Because some days I just feel too bad to eat. God. Like, and like by that, what I'm saying is like getting snacks and feeling comfortable where I'm at. Like, I'll eat food every day. Like, during the week, I normally have like a protein shake. Like, that has like 3 scoops of protein, and I've been doing this fasting thing. So I'm trying to control myself there. But yeah, on the weekend, I feel horrible when these lovely people, they're offering me this food. They're offering me this food, and I get it, and I appreciate it. But I already feel like a stain on this earth. Like, to add more shit to come out of me to make the stain worse. Just like, let me just fend for myself. It's what I'm used to. Why should I put that on someone else? And it's like, if they're offering, it's not putting it on you. It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. It's like, I feel like just me being here to influence that thought for my friend's family is like, feels manipulative in a way almost. I know I'm not, but like, the second I look sad, someone recognizes that emotion and they run with it. They're like, oh, this is how he's feeling. And I'm like, I'm just having a bad day. sometimes. You know, I'm just having a bad day. But also at the same time, I think getting bullied in my childhood and various things has led me down that path of I have to eat in secret because what if someone would find out? I'd give them more ammo to be calling me fat, to be calling me unhealthy, to be calling me all these things. And it's like, just give me one day. Just don't care about me. Man, I do sound insane, don't I? Like I was saying, I don't know if this resonates. I don't even know if anyone's watching at this point, but it's just the truth. Like, I just, for more or less, I love me. I love my personality. I love how I am. But when it comes down to these just matter of fact things where it's like, I need to eat, my dog needs to eat, this and this and this, it's like, my brain tells me to tell people just to stop. It's just what it does. It's just what it does. And so yeah, no, I'll hide if I get any snacks and things like that. It's not like I'm trying to gatekeep my snacks because, like, you know, that's my friend Chloe. I would give her any snack that I have. But yeah, it's just, I don't know where it exactly comes from. I mean, I'm sure probably has to do with being young and my parents just generally trying to look over me. Maybe they look too much sometimes. Every parent, every child has said something to their parents. Every parent has said something to their child that has hurt their feelings in one way or another, right? So I'm sure there's something there. I don't want to bring it up, whatever I'm thinking. Like, literally, I'm blocking whatever new thought process is forming down that way, because knowing my family, hey, I know you're probably still watching. Please stop. You're making me uncomfortable. Leave, 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 leave. But I need a place to be vulnerable and talk. I don't have anyone. No one I feel comfortable talking to, at least. Because, like, my whole life right now is reliant off relationships. You know? And, like, that's my most powerful thing that I have keeping me around. So it's just like, if I can do anything in my power to make, let's call them my host family that I'm living with, feel better, or even my actual family feel better, and if that's at the expense of myself, I will do it. But it's just when people start feeling bad and they can't mask the part of feeling bad, and they're like, "Aw," and like they don't even have to say "aw." It can come across in a facial expression, and it feels condescending. But also, I can't blame that person because I'm making myself think they're thinking that. You know, I'm like self aware of all these things. And I fight my brain on it every day. And I try to be as positive as I can. Like, for example, one small stupid thing that, if you're still watching family, this is stupid, but one thing that made me kind of depressed this year is we watch Jim Carrey's Grinch every year. And this year, we started to watch Christmas Vacation instead of that. And like I was saying, this is stupid, but like, it made me sad. When I went home on Christmas that day, I sat down to myself and I thought about watching The Grinch by myself. And I still might. It's my favorite Christmas movie. But yeah, I mean, to talk about like why I liked Christmas when I was younger, I mean, it's like obviously like the giving time of year, you get to be with family and friends. Um, there's no expectations when you're a kid. There's none of that. And it's just nice, you know, and especially as a kid because like for me it was you have Christmas Day at dad's and you spend the whole day there, you're not traveling around. Feels like a simple fun day. Then the next day would happen, which would be Christmas Day, because like divorced family. So it's Christmas Eve, then you go into Christmas Day, then you go into Christmas Eve again. And we'd have the next day of Christmas with my mom. And it was like the funnest thing ever. Because like you just get to be with your sisters and you get to play video games and do all this fun stuff. But now that I'm older, when even if it comes to like playing games and stuff, it's like I feel bad to ask to even do events and things that I like. I know I shouldn't, but I do. I do. And it's like, yeah, we can track that down in my life for sure. Probably back to bullying, I would think, for that one. Because I would feel bad about myself when I was younger, just like, what did I do to make that happen? You know? Because like I don't know if that's something that I think also like a lot of people just need to think about for themselves. Is just like no. Well, it's like a 50-50 area. You can either think about what people think about you all the time or none of the time. But most time people think in that gray area. And for me, I'm for myself stuck in that gray area of how I should like treat my mental health and self sometimes. And it like I was saying, at the end of the day, this podcast is just a big sob story. I feel like God, like I just wish I couldn't feel these emotions. I wish I could just be an asshole and show up to Christmas and be the fucking bum. But instead, I'm the sad one that shows up to Christmas and is a fucking bum. Like, I was saying, none of my family members would call me that. It's how I feel, though. It's how I feel. Oh, you're not able to provide something? Why are you here? Why are you here? Like I was saying, I wouldn't think that because personally, I think that kind of thing is evil. And neither would my family. But maybe it's just me that's the evil one inside of my head. And it is. But this is also just a stressful time of year in general. But God, man, like I can just remember being a little stupid kid, man. Like I remember when I was younger on Christmas, because I was a little stupid kid. I would sometimes play with the boxes more than the actual presents. Sometimes, I was just a little goofy kid back in the day. Um, Now I'm a big goofy kid. Now I'm a big goofy kid. God, I've been sitting with my arms crossed like this the whole time. Now my hands are sweating. These big arms are heavy. Um, man, yeah. I don't. I feel like it's not talked about enough, like our own emotions, when it comes to that kind of thing. But like from that personal perspective, because like I was saying, I'm so self-aware of all this stuff, and it just makes me feel stupid that it's even happening. And like I was saying, I think a really big issue for me is just like hearing from people that they're like, oh, no, it's fine. But it's just like I've heard so many times in the past from people who have said that kind of thing to other people who were just being passive aggressive and then the other person didn't even understand it. They're like, yeah, I didn't want that to happen, but it did. And that person's so annoying. And so it's just like, I'm like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. And like I was saying, like I was saying, I really want to make it clear that like all these feelings I'm feeling are self-induced. I can't blame anyone else for how I feel but me. And that's real shit. That's some real shit, bro. Cause like who wants to wake up and feel like this? I don't think anybody does. Maybe there's some insane people. Maybe Logan Paul does. I mean, he scams people out of millions. But yeah, it's just such a stressful time of year. It's the most horrible time. It's gotta be it's the worst, most horrendous time of the year. But like I was saying, I know that gifts and things like that shouldn't feel like they matter. But like, I have very much adopted the idea and thought of, if I'm not useful, why the hell am I at an event? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing whatever? Like, I can't trust my own thoughts to keep myself sane. So it's like, when I'm there, I know I'm going to be awkward, and I would do anything in my power to try and stop that. But it's like, if I do, then I can't. I've tried this so many times, I can't. Like, at least for like the first like hour of my Christmas gathering yesterday, I I felt bad. Like I was saying, like my dad was very nice to me, very nice to me. I was like, "Oh, we get it, we get it." And honestly, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'd almost have people not mention it, because just saying it out loud feels like someone's going to like their like dog that just got hurt and going, "Oh, are you okay? Oh, it's okay." Like, that's what I feel like happens when people give me the benefit of the doubt. Like, if no one else, I don't know. I try my best not to rely on anyone else. So it's like, when it happens, it's like, wow, this is not your job to do for me. You should not even be thinking about me. You should not have your mind on me. Now, if you're watching a podcast and you're a viewer, I want your mind. um, but yeah, as far as family and friends go, um, if they could only think about me when my life was good, that'd be great. Because, like, especially right now, doing my whole life, I decided to take my own path in life, and I'm so happy with that decision. To be me. But yeah, I can't even help but thinking my own ambitions in life just scream failure at my parents. Because I believe in myself. Hell, I was able to bring, with just YouTube Shorts earlier last year, almost 250,000 views on my channel. And on my TikTok, RIP January 19th, my TikTok, I have like a good amount of people following, with great achievements. And no matter what I do in that right, until I actually am making money from it, they're just gonna look at me once again as the bum. And that's one thing where, like, it's gonna be hard, but I have to just keep going. Because the more I let them get in my mind when it comes to that kind of stuff, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. You know? And I will never stop this YouTube thing. I will never stop this streaming thing. I do not want a traditional job. The only traditional job I would think of maybe going into be VFX, which might be taken by AI faster than most things. Don't worry, it's coming for construction jobs too. But yeah, I don't. I like, every time I say yeah, I want to make people laugh. I want to make people forget about their daily life in the real world, and I want to be able to have an impact. And people ask me, "Oh, why don't you be a teacher? Why don't you be a counselor? Why don't you do this, this, or this?" Can the answer not be, I want to do it this way? Like, is that a incorrect thought process? You know? Why do I have to do everything through the lens of everyone else their way? And also, like, I want to be able to provide not only for myself, but I want to provide for my little sisters. I want to provide for my older sister. Like, if I can pay for my older sister's wedding one day, I mean, it might be a year later, but I want to do that. It might be 2 years later. It might be 3 years later. I want to do that. I want to. I want to hopefully be successful by the time my little sisters have decided to go to the schools they want. I mean, I'm not going to be able to probably, but like, I want to be able to pay for my little sisters' college experiences and stuff like that. And the only avenue I know how, which I've been slightly successful in, is this. And people don't believe in it because, I'm a human. And obviously things are tough, things turn into a job. But when you have a 9 to 5, focusing 100% of your energy on your passion is 100% impossible. Because about 75% of my body is being taken and ragdolled by my 9 to 5. And my other 25%, I crank it up into the red zone, putting me at about 125% normally. And it crushes me. But I luckily have been taught to not quit. And I'm not going to quit. A lot of people will say it's okay, but no, it's not. Especially if it's your dream job. If it's something you've always wanted to do in your own way, no, there is no excuse but myself, I guess, for myself. And it's like, obviously, I could do some insane shit and like cover myself in peanut butter and run around to Walmart. But no, I want to do it the genuine way. I want to do it through my personality and me. And call me cocky, but for some reason I feel like there's some base of people out there that are willing to hear me out on this type of stuff. Because like I used to think this way with Theo Vaughn for a long time until I realized how rich he was. But like when I was listening to his podcast, I could relate to all that shit. Like when he like especially well, I guess I can relate to Theo Vaughn whenever he's talking about like addiction, uh whether that be to drugs, alcohol, sugar, being in my own head. It's a thing. Being stuck in your own head can be the worst addiction. But, and so I try to really reel back on myself and be apologetic as much as I can because this is something that's also true, said by the great assaulter of Chris Rock. But that you need to be able to forgive yourself. That's where you have to start. And the same thing that I have issue with accepting from other people is I'll forgive myself. But secretly, not secretly, but like there's that other deep riddled voice within inside of myself that after I hear myself apologize to myself, I just call myself, I don't like saying the word, I call myself the P word. And I'll just kind of degrade myself until I feel bad enough to do whatever I need to do. It's fucked up thought process, but it's how I keep going. You have to say it is what it is and keep going. You don't get a chance to relax. I like an actual vacation to like a place where it was a vacation. Last time I did that was senior year of high school. It's gonna be, what year is it gonna be? God, it's so gross. It's gonna be 5 years soon since high school. Or six. Six almost. And yeah. Expectations. Comparing yourself to others. That is what steals happiness. And I try to, throughout my own community that I've made, distract myself from all these things. Which is funny and ironic because in turn I'm trying to do that for others. But you need a community of people. And my dog, my Discord, my friends and family too, of course. They've all kept me sane. And you can only do what you can do. You can only do what you can do. Fuck. I'm sorry about getting emotional earlier also. And before people were like, oh, don't say sorry. I could have stopped recording that at that point, but like it just felt vulnerable. And I need a space in my life where I can do that. And you know what? If my parents see, fuck it. Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sad that you're still here. But yeah, no, life has been very much a lot. And I want to make Tolerance Break more of a fun thing. But hey, it's just a game theory. Also, like, for example, like, also another thing that makes me just wish Christmas wasn't happening. I have to work next week, one day each week before the holiday happens. It's not even a long extended weekend. I have to wake up at the most random times. So it's just like, if there's something that's going to be ruining the whole experience, fuck it. Like, I don't want that. But hey, it's called capitalism. It's called you have to do it or else you starve and die. That sounds sad and maybe over exaggerated, but it's real. It's real. You don't get an option when you're me, or a lot of you are you. You have to go to work, you have to do what you have to do. And obviously, I'm not getting it as bad as like a retail worker. I've been there before and had to work on Christmas and stuff, and it sucks. Dude, if I'm ever working on Christmas again, I'm just not celebrating the holiday. I mean, like I was saying, I have to go to work on Mondays. Then an instant weekend again, it's just like that ruins the whole vibe to have the bump in the middle. Look, God, it's not a break. That's a weekend, a day of work, then a weekend. And then going back to work again. Like, I guess, like, it's like small day intervals. Can I just have 5 days off in a row, please? Can I have time to recover my brain? Is that allowed, corporate America? Is that allowed? No, it's not allowed. You have to sell your soul. You have to sell your body to health insurance companies. Shout out Luigi. If you're rich, you should probably not talk about that because people might make comments on you. But if you're rich, it also Mr. Beast. I'm gonna need some money. Need some money. But all right, I'm struggling to come up with topics. I wasn't expecting to get all emotiony that started, and I was like, oh, we snowballed into it. But yes, please like and subscribe, y'all. Tolerance Break comes out every Tuesday at noon EST. Let's end off on the more relaxed. Let's just listen to it. Got the water lights. It's been a roller coaster. Goodbye. Oh, and the sound stopped. And did the camera just turn off at the very end? Bye-bye.